Hi, and welcome to another edition of CCK Live. My name is Brandon Paiva, and I'm an accredited claims agent here at Chisholm and Kilpatrick. And with me today, I'm joined by my two colleagues, Alex Gamache and Matt Fusco, who are both also accredited claims agents here at CCK. Today, we're going to break down the difference between what VBA and what VHA are. So essentially, we're going to determine what is the difference between what is the Veterans Benefits Administration and what is the Veterans Health Administration. And then we're going to touch a little bit about how they may interact or intersect with one another. So first, I think we'll start with defining what VBA is, because that seems to be where we do most of our work and what our clients might be more familiar with. So, Alex, can you talk to us a little bit about what VBA is and what VBA does?
Yes. So the Veterans Benefit Administration, or the VBA, as we'll abbreviate it moving forward, is one of the three branches of VA that manages the disbursement of benefits to veterans and their dependents. The VBA jurisdiction spans from disability compensation to pension, loan guarantees, education services, and vocational rehabilitation. The VBA is led by the Undersecretary of Benefits, who works under the Secretary of VBA. So there are four branches to the VBA that we're going to be talking about, and they're all underseen by the Undersecretary. So the first branch we're going to talk about is the Office of Strategic Planning. And this branch handles the strategic and operational planning of the VBA, including implementing the VA and VBA strategic plans and properties. The second branch is the Office of Deputy Undersecretary for Disability Assistance. And this branch works closely with the regional offices and manages the administration of benefits and services to veterans, their family members, and survivors. This branch oversees the Office of Compensation, which is the office that administers monthly payments to the veterans for their service-connected condition. But they also oversee pension, fiduciary, insurance, and benefit assistance service. The third branch is the Office of Deputy Undersecretary for Economic Opportunity. And this branch oversees programs such as vocational rehabilitation, transition assistance, employment, education services, and loan guarantees. And finally, the last branch is the Office of Deputy Undersecretary for Field Operations. And this manages the operations at the VA regional offices, Records Management Center, and Appeals Management Center. And these offices handle veterans' claims for compensation, pension, vocational rehabilitation, and housing benefits.
Perfect. Thanks, Alex. So essentially, VBA deals with benefits. Seems to be where we kind of do most of our work. So now that we've kind of explained what the framework is and what VBA is and the different branches contained in the Veterans Benefits Administration, let's talk about what VAH is and sort of explain, the difference and maybe what VHA is overall. Matt, can you tell us a little bit about what VHA is?
I can. So the Veterans Health Administration, or VHA, is the largest healthcare network in the United States. The largest branch of VA, the VHA, is led by the Undersecretary of Veterans Affairs for Health. Now, VHA is tasked with serving the millions of veterans enrolled in VA healthcare. It's made up of 1,243 healthcare facilities, 172 of which are VA medical centers, and 1,062 of which are outpatient sites with varying purposes. Those facilities are divided based on geographic location into 18 Veterans Integrated Service Networks. And VHA itself is made up of several types of medical facilities, each of which serves a different function for veterans. Veterans Health Administration medical centers are usually large hospital facilities located in major cities across the United States. And each medical center offers traditional hospital-based services, and some offer specialty care services, such as, and this is a long list, so bear with me, mental health services, orthopedics, pharmacy, radiology, physical therapy, audiology and speech pathology, dermatology, dental services, geriatrics, neurology, and vision care. Another portion of VHA is called community-based outpatient clinics, which are facilities contracted by VA to provide veterans with common outpatient services, such as health and wellness visits, without those veterans having to actually visit a VA medical center themselves. There are also community living centers or nursing homes, which are skilled nursing facilities for veterans with stable chronic conditions who need rehabilitation or who require hospice care. There's also VHA domiciliary care facilities, which provides veterans with short-term residential medical or psychiatric treatment and vocational rehabilitation in a home-like environment for those veterans. And lastly, there are vet centers, which offers free outreach services and readjustment counseling to all combat veterans.
Great. Thank you, Matt. And thank you, Alex, as well, for your explanation. So essentially, when we're talking about VBA, Veterans Benefits Administration, we're sort of dealing with the administration, Department of Veterans Affairs, that dealing with disabilities and paying veterans or potentially paying veterans for their disabilities. Whereas VHA is more so the treatment of those conditions. So I think those are kind of the main differences where we represent and do a lot of our practice at VBA, the Veterans Benefits Administration. VHA is essentially responsible for treating those veterans and some of our clients for those conditions. So now that we've kind of laid the framework, generally kind of go over what VBA is, what VHA is, and, very generally speaking, differences between the two, you might be wondering, well, how or when do these two kind of seemingly separate entities kind of interact? So there are some instances when VHA and VBA actually do work together. Most notably, this is when a veteran is required to attend a C&P or a compensation and pension examination. When this occurs, VBA usually reaches out to schedule an exam at a local VA medical center through the Veterans Health Administration. When the exam is complete, the results will be sent to VBA, or the Veterans Benefits Administration, for review. If the veteran had care at any other VA MC or non-VA provider, they can sign what's called an ROI, which is a release of information, which permits the provider to send records directly to the Veterans Benefits Administration. So just because you may seek your treatment exclusively at a VA medical center doesn't mean that if you also treat privately, that you can't send your records over to the Veterans Benefits Administration in support of, say, your disability compensation claim. You can certainly do so. So those are kind of how those two interact. But what I think is really important to note is VA doctors will likely not know anything regarding a veteran-specific claim for VA benefits. That's really handled by VBA and really not VHA. Although they do sometimes work together and intersect, it doesn't necessarily mean that both entities are going to have the same information. Any questions that you have about VA claims, if you do have any questions about VA claims or your own appeal, that should be something that you can bring to VBA, maybe represented by a VSO or any other representative that you may have that may be assisting you through that process. So I think we've kind of generally touched on and explained differences between what VBA is, what VHA is, and also kind of touched on what circumstances they may interact. So I think we've covered a good amount for this CCK Live today. As always, check out our website for more detailed information on the Veterans Health Administration and Veterans Benefits Administration. And we also want you to be sure to subscribe to our channel to catch our other videos as we post. And as always, thank you for watching.